Good afternoon. I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Tuesday, March the 8th. News from Arkansas. I guess the big news of the morning is Governor Asa Hutchinson presented a state budget for the next fiscal year to the legislature this morning. It's $5.3 billion. It's a big number. That's only about a 2% increase over current spending levels. That amount of increase wouldn't be possible at all without the more than $100 million he expects to be added to the state revenues by Obamacare. That is a Medicaid expansion program that's financed by Obamacare. It also doesn't include some potential savings from a reworking of the Medicaid program. An interesting thing in the budget proposal is that there is no cost of living increase for state employees, which basically means no pay increase for most state employees. This will be something of a bitter pill for them, I suppose, particularly since a lot of them don't make much money and were among the people who did not get a tax cut when the governor gave some $100 million in tax cuts to higher income people in 2015. The budget comes against a backdrop of some interesting political wrangling. While Democrats in the legislature are a decided minority, their votes are critical to approval of the extension of the Medicaid expansion program we once knew as the private option. The governor seems to want them to take it as is and to accept his new plan for handling the Medicaid program through managed care as is. Some Democrats are reluctant to do this. Some people say, well, gee, they're not looking at what the right thing is. Well, of course, the right thing is to continue medical coverage for the 250,000 people who got it thanks to the Obamacare expansion. But I think Democrats are right, are trying to use their vote leverage to get some improvements from the governor's program, whether it's by reducing the punitive measures that he proposes on the health insurance program, or perhaps some unrelated issues that are important in government. He hasn't been much of a help to the poor and working people of Arkansas to date. If Democrats can use their votes to improve those a little bit, I think, of course, they should. And if it fails, then the governor shares in the responsibility as well. The lack of a state pay raise for state employees is kind of interesting because Treasurer Dennis Milligan, something of the bad boy of the new crop of Republican state office holders, wants a big increase in spending for some staff members in his office. He wants to create an $85,000 a year attorney. He's got a lot of legal problems. He's been sued and been accused of ethical misdealings. He also wants to give an 8% pay raise, more than $9,000 a year, I think, to Ed Garner, a former state representative who helps the office and is an investment manager. They say that, a spokesman for Milligan said that Garner has brought a great deal of panache to the job, which is an interesting adjective to use for Ed Garner, who until now ran a little bakery in Little Rock and was best known for failing to pay sales taxes, income tax withholding, and license fees for that bakery. Not exactly a paragon of physical integrity in some of his past life. Perhaps he straightened up his act in the treasurer's office. Other news in Arkansas today, Heather Stubbs has been identified as a 41-year-old woman whose body was found dead in a Conway motel room Sunday. The police there have arrested a man who rented the room. Unclear about the circumstances of the crime. She was a single mother of three who'd gone to church with her children that morning before her body was found. The Camden police have followed the example of some other police agencies around the country and set up a video monitored lot next door to the police station where you can arrange to meet people you've met on Craigslist or other internet outlets to exchange goods that are for sale. You know, sometimes people say they want to buy something from you and they really want to steal something from you. The police hope that having a camera running at all times might discourage that kind of activity. It was reported yesterday that Warren Stevens, the investment magnate, or at least his investment firm, Stephen Inc., was the sole contributor of money to a new PAC, America Advance, I think the name is, $250,000, which is already running ads trashing the Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate in Arkansas, Connor Eldridge. They're saying he worked for President Obama for 5 years. Can you imagine something so bad? Well, what they mean is he was a U.S. attorney putting criminals in jail for 5 years during the Obama administration. Perhaps this means Eldridge is viewed as having some chance against the Republican incumbent John Bozeman. We won't find out for 10 months, but they're already advertising against him. In other political news tonight, more presidential primaries and contests. The big ones in Michigan. Can Donald Trump carry Michigan over John Kasich and continue his march to the Republican nomination? Could this be the end of Bernie Sanders if Hillary Clinton wins a big contest in that automaking state? Bernie Sanders is making a big effort. He has to have a crossover effort in some big state if he's going to topple Clinton before the contest is over. We'll be watching tonight. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.
You feel it in your heart. The spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture. And in our city beats against the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team and Little Rock's University.